Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If we've never met before, my name is Chelsea and I make new videos weekly on fashion, beauty, and travel. Subscribe down below for 2 videos a week. Today's video is going to be a casual tag video inspired by Kelly Gooch. She did a video a couple days ago about unpopular makeup trends and techniques that she actually really loves. So I thought that was a great idea. I love the concept. I think makeup is such a personal thing, and actually some things in her video I really agreed with. So of course I wanted to share my take on this topic today. I have 4 makeup techniques and trends to discuss that are unpopular, but I really enjoy. What works for one person might not work for another person. That's the reason you're here watching stuff on YouTube today. And some of these are things that I've changed my mind with over the years, and then others are things that I've been doing since the get-go. So if you want to hear about the makeup techniques and trends that I love that are somewhat unpopular, go ahead and keep watching. So the first somewhat unpopular makeup technique that I really enjoy that a lot of people don't is shimmer in the crease. Now Kelly did mention this in her video, but I have loved this technique since I started wearing makeup, essentially. I mean, I think back to the middle school and high school days when I had those shimmery CoverGirl quads. I would just put them all over my lid. I'm not talking about that per se. I'm talking about a one shadow shimmer look. So I think back, the eyeshadow that stands out in my mind the most is Satin Taupe. Satin Taupe was just one of those iconic MAC eyeshadows that everybody had in their collection back in the day. I was truly a really big fan of it. I would love wearing it as a lid shade, but I would also love wearing it as a one eyeshadow look. It had so much shimmer and dimension to it. I just loved how it looked on the lid, but also buffed out into the crease, and it would look amazing as a one shadow look. Similarly to Kelly, I also have hooded eyes. So sometimes when you put just shimmer on the lid, it doesn't really show when your eyes are open and you're speaking to somebody. You really kind of want to bring that shimmer above the crease so that you can have the shimmery effect when you're awake and you're talking to people and you're looking at them. So I definitely agree with that, and I've been a fan of that since the get-go, but it makes sense. If you just have shimmer on the lid, people are only gonna see it when you blink or have your eyes closed. So if you really want people to see the shimmer, you kind of have to go in the crease to get that effect. But just from a practicality standpoint, I think great shimmery eyeshadows are essential. Also, if you struggle with blending and layering colors and having the right brushes, a one shadow look is really, really easy. That is the first thing. Shimmer in the crease and one shadow looks are one of my favorite makeup trends that are somewhat unpopular, but I really love. The next thing is radiant bronzers. I know a lot of people strictly stick to the matte bronzers, but I actually love a radiant bronzer, and I haven't always been that way. I used to only do the matte bronzer because I would like to contour my jawline with it too, so it just made sense, again, for simplicity's sake, just having one product that I could use on my cheeks and on my jawline. But I love a radiant bronzer just to revive my cheeks and add some dimension again to my face. It adds a youthful glow. I guess as I've gotten older, I really like that look instead of just matte, 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 and then a stripe of highlight. Now today I am wearing the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores bronzer, and I really love it. It's in my project pan. I will link that playlist up above if you haven't seen that. I think also, since I have oily combination skin, it just adds that youthful glow where I want it to be, because I don't really get oily out here. I get oily more in the center of my face. So having that extra glow on the cheeks is actually helpful, because it's not like I'm getting natural oils there throughout the day. Some people are very divided with their bronzers, and I think the radiant bronzers have definitely grown on me over the last few years, and they're somewhat unpopular on YouTube, but I really enjoy them. The next type of product I really enjoy that seems to be somewhat unpopular are moussey liquid lipsticks. Now I am wearing one today, and I could probably use a top up. This is the Burberry Lip Velvet in the shade Fawn. Again, this is another product in my project pan for 2020, and I'm determined to use this up. The reason I love a moussey liquid lipstick is that you can just keep reapplying it. It doesn't dry out your lips. And you can also overline with it. Yes, it can transfer. Yes, it can get a little messy, but I'm just choosing comfort over long wearness at this time. Because it's so non-drying, it's fine to reapply. So I don't really mind reapplying. You can see my water today. There's a little bit around the rim of the straw, but still in 2020, people are really into those super, super drying liquid lipsticks. Now, if you like a liquid lipstick that comes out very, very thin and dries down to a true matte finish, I really love Pixie and I love Shades by Shan. I've mentioned them in a lot of my videos, but just for an everyday basis and the average person, I would really recommend a moussey liquid lipstick. They might be less popular overall because they do wear off and they transfer, but they are the most comfortable of formulas. Another brand I really enjoy is Smashbox. Their formula for their always on liquid lipsticks is a little more moussey. It does dry down to a matte finish. I just love this so much. I wear it in a lot of my videos. I always have my makeup I'm wearing in my videos linked down below, and you'll see this product I'm wearing a lot just because I'm wearing it a lot because, well, A, it's in my project pan, and B, it's really comfortable, and C, I really like the shade. So Moussey liquid lipsticks would have to be my third makeup trend that I think is relatively unpopular, but I love. The last makeup technique I have to share I think is pretty unconventional. I haven't heard anybody mention this in their videos, but it's applying blush last. Now there are a couple reasons I do this. I see a lot of YouTubers do their blush, bronzer, highlight, and then they go into their eyes. If my eyes turn out really heavy, I like the flexibility of being able to adapt my face makeup accordingly. So I typically do foundation first, then I go into eyes. I do my eyes aside from brows and mascara, then I go back to my face, then do the setting spray, and then setting spray and then mascara after that so my lashes don't get crispy, but that's besides the point. I see a lot of YouTubers doing their blush like midway through the routine, and that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me because blush is like, it's easy to go overboard with, and I just prefer it to be the last step so I can just pick the blush that complements the eyes best. I kind of fly by the seat of my pants when I do my eye makeup, so I can't really choose a blush beforehand because it's probably gonna clash. And then I also see a lot of people do bronzer, blush, and then highlight. When I tend to do that, the highlight always comes out looking a little too obvious and too much like a stripe across my face. So what I like to do is do bronzer and then highlight and then top with the blush, just kind of softly diffusing everything out. So that way I don't look like I have a stripe across my cheek and it's painfully obvious that I'm wearing highlight. Even if I'm wearing a subtle highlight, I still feel like sometimes you can see that stripe, and I just prefer to put the blush on top of it. It's looking more diffused, a little more blended, and the blush you can kind of brush back into the bronzer as well. So I just feel like doing the blush last is something I'm really a fan of. And of course I'm wearing a blush today. I'm wearing the Balm, I think it's the Balm Beach. It's one of those dusty mauve colors that's like really a neutral tone that you can wear with anything. So that's the blush I'm wearing today. I just noticed that was like a pretty uncommon technique amongst the YouTubers I watch. And of course I'm not a makeup artist, so I'm not like here to preach the right way or the wrong way, like you do you. Whatever works for you. As you can see, my opinion on some of these things has changed over the years, so I thought that was really interesting. Kind of why I wanted to do this video in the first place. I thought it was just kind of cool to take a step back, look at how I do my makeup now, think about how I did my makeup back then, and here we are. So, all right, friends, so that about wraps it up for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, I'm gonna link Kelly's video down below. She's the one who kind of created this concept and tag, so of course want to give credit where credit is due. If you enjoy this video, or I'm curious to know if you have any differing opinions. Again, this is a free space to speak your mind, just be respectful in the comments. If you do your stuff a different way, let me know, because perhaps it's something I didn't think of before, but I'm always open to trying new things. So let us all know in a comment down below. Definitely hit the video with a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.